Hello, everyone. It's Mystery here, reporting live from the scene, Sloptide News Network. A great tragedy has just unfolded. A second nerf has hit the Ogryn. I was about to go to bed. I was drifting off into dreamland. I was scrolling through my phone when I found this video, and this is by one of the Ogryn playtesters, and it shows the Ogryn tweaks that are coming tomorrow. Previously, I had anticipated that they would be making the tree more interconnected. No, in fact, what the case is that the Ogryn is getting a nerf. It's getting a point tax. You're going to have to spend points on bad talents now in order to get good talents, specifically for gun luggers. So, if this comes as a shock to you, it came as twice as much of a shock to me because I was utterly convinced this would be a buff to Ogryn. Considering right now Ogryn is in the worst state of any class in the game. He is the weakest class by a pretty good margin. He has like two things he can do. One of the things he can do is he can beat things with heavy attacks using charge. Then he has a slight modification where he can beat things with heavy attacks using taunt. And then he has two really radically different builds with Gunlugger, where if you're using the Atlas Twin Stubber, you will choose Point Blank Barrage with the fire, and if you're using the Kickback, you will use Point Blank Barrage with Halo Fire, and that's pretty much the whole build, right? So the Ogryn has no diversity in builds. The Ogryn is really, really weak weapon-wise and damage-wise compared to other classes. I mean, I don't know if they've noticed what the Zealots have been doing recently or what veterans are doing, but they are insane in the fucking stratosphere, and Ogryn is now taking a nerf. So, what is this nerf? Well, I helpfully watched the video, and I'm going to do my best John Madden here and show you. So the nodes in question here today are this one, this one, this one, and this one, right? So these nodes are being shuffled up in a seemingly random fashion, but if it was random, that would probably be a better outcome because these are being moved into the absolute worst possible positions. So right now, this is the best one. This gives you 15% damage for 8 seconds on reload. This is being moved all the way down to here. And you might be saying, oh, well, it's not so bad, except for if you are playing any other build than Gunlugger, specifically with Point Blank Barrage, you are no longer going to be able to 1-point dip this off the top of the tree. So before, when you were playing, like a taunt build, you would take this and you would grab the kickback and or the rumbler, and you would just be able to drop a grenade or shoot a shot, and you would get some extra damage when you continually fired those shots, and it was great. Well, now you can't do that. It's all the way down here, so you pretty much can only get it if you're doing this class. But you might be saying, okay, I can still get that. I was still going to go down here anyway. What is this node now? Well, this node is now this node. And if you know anything, this node is you have to hit 5 enemies with a melee attack in one swing, and you get 25% reload speed for 5 seconds. So this is one of those super specific garbage nodes that no one has ever done in a game. I have never once hit 5 enemies with a swing of my range weapon. I've never once swung my melee weapon, then swapped my range weapon really quickly to reload. This is just not a practical thing at all, and it's not how the game is played. So, so that's a point tax, right? This is 100% a point tax. If you want to get this node now, you take this one really bad node above it. Well, this node right here, Towering Presence, gives you 50% coherency radius, and it is moving up into this slot, which is another point tax because this node is useless. 50% coherency radius gives our allies more of our aura, and it gives our allies coherency regen. Woohoo! Like, coherency regen is already so weak. It is one of the weakest mechanics in the game, and Ogryn does not need it because he has the braced thing right here and because he has the toughness regen on heavy strike. So we don't need this garbage, and it's moving all the way up here, and so we have to take it off the top of the tree if we want to get to the braced regen, which is an actual good node for Ogryn. And then finally, our last thing, which is the big boom node, which is pretty good for rumblers, grenade gauntlets, and anyone who throws grenades, is now moving into this slot right here, which notably puts it in competition with the 25% ammo. So you have to choose or you have to spend both points if you want to get both, instead of it just being a linear thing where you will always choose the ammo and you'll come down here and spend more points. This is just about the worst news that Gunlugger Ogryn could have received, other than just the Rumbler being removed from the game. I'm thinking. I was literally thinking to myself the other day, it would be interesting, like, what if I took out these nodes? Because the keystone for this build is already so bad, as you've seen in my previous video. What if I just save these 5 points? No, what if I just save these, like, 6 points and put them somewhere else? And I literally couldn't find anywhere else to put them because there are so few nodes that are worth anything on the Ogryn talent tree. The only thing I would want to do is come over here and get some of this like bleeding resistance and rending and stuff, but that would only be good if I could get batter, and I literally physically fucking can't, because there's no interconnectivity between this side of the tree and batter, which is literally right here. It's 2 nodes away, but because they angled this bar and they're unwilling to do that, and you can't cross over here, you can't get batter, which is the single strongest ability in the whole tree. So that is where we're at with Ogryn right now, and I'm going to tell you why I think this is happening. I think that the Ogryn playtesters are completely insulated. I think that they are playing only with other Ogryns, and that they are, I don't want to use the word circle jerk, but I think they are playing with other Ogryns only and playing missions that are like heresy or like regular damnation, and they're comparing their stats based on that. They're probably not even comparing stats, right? They're probably not using scoreboard mod. They're probably just like going by feel. And what we're getting is they're seeing that, like, oh yeah, my unoptimized taunt build is not doing as much damage as the kickback gunlugger. The kickback gunlugger is killing everything in the game. Well, that's because the kickback gunlugger has comparable damage to like a tier veteran build, not an S tier veteran build, but like an A tier veteran build. He can keep up with them. He's actually doing all right damage wise. So they see that and they're like, oh, this needs a nerf. This is too good. It's taking all the glory away from the taunt Ogryns who are using feel no pain, because we're taunt, we're big boy, we protect the little ones. That is just absurd. That the only thing that the Ogryn has, Ogryn only has two loadouts, this one and this one, that actually compete with anything else in the game. The other classes all have like 5 builds. Actually, the Zealot's in a pretty bad place. He has like 1 build, but that 1 build does like double the damage of anything else in the game, right? And it's infinitely survivable. You can literally do everything with it. These are the 2 Ogryn builds right now, basically, and this one. 1 out of the 2 builds is just taking a huge nerf, and it boggles the mind that they are not looking at these classes in comparison to each other and just realizing right off the top that Ogryn is the least played class, and why that is. It's not just because he's more difficult than the other classes and has rules that he has to play by that no other class has to play by. It's because he is less fun and engaging to play than other classes, because he literally has like 2 different ways you can build him. And now we're nerfing the one of the interesting ways you can play him by just sticking bad nodes everywhere and just depriving us. Like, I'm literally not going to be able to afford Get Stuck In and Bruiser now, because I'm gonna have to take these nodes and pick them up elsewhere. Just garbage. I'm really upset about this. I'm probably here. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna delete my gunlugger builds. There we go. And then I'm just gonna play melee from here on out until they nerf that. All right, guys, that's it for this news update. I'll see you next time. Sloptide out.